The most important thing you can do for your leather is routine maintenance and care. The Fenice Leather Care Kit provides some products for you to maintain your leather, as well as solve some emergencies that can happen. Here is a normal pigmented leather, which is very common. A pigmented leather has a top coat on it, which adds some protection and seals the colour inside the leather. Here we've got some grounded dirt on the leather. Let's show you how to remove it with Fenice Leather Cleaner. Just apply the cleaner to a sponge and work it into the leather. Then wipe away any excess. After you're done, you need to re-protect the leather. Some may ask, why do I need to protect this type of leather, as it already has a protective finish on it? Well, that can be illustrated with an ink mark. This side here we treat with a Fenice leather protector. This side we don't. Let's place a mark over here on the unprotected side, and let's place one here on the protected side. Now what we'll try to do is remove this with just using the cleaner. The best thing to do is to use the least aggressive method first. We've actually removed most of the ink already. Now we can see what happens on the unprotected side. It's really not budging the ink at all. We're going to have to use Fenice ink remover to get it out. You want to apply it directly to the mark, and you'll see the ink start to dissolve. It's always best to pre-test this in a hidden area to make sure the leather's colour fast. If the ink remover removes colour from the leather, you should discontinue use. The effectiveness of the ink remover depends upon how long the ink has been on there. It's designed to remove fresh ink. Ink that has been on there for a long time has probably penetrated into the leather and therefore very difficult to remove. You may be able to remove a percentage of the ink, but not all of it. As a final step, you want to use the leather cleaner to remove any of the excess ink remover. Then you would dry the leather and apply the leather protector to give the leather a protective finish. After you clean, it's always best to re-protect the leather. Now we can illustrate the protection. It's much easier to show it on an unfinished leather. This is an aniline leather. Now what we're going to do is protect the bottom half of the leather, and we'll see how the protection effect actually works. We're going to apply oil to the leather here. Oil is probably one of the most difficult stains to protect against. You can see what happens when you apply the oil to the leather here. It soaks right in. It's making a large stain. Here we've protected the leather. You have the ability to clean it up. It's beading up on top. See how effective the protection is? This piece of nubuck is heavily soiled and in quite a bad state. We're going to take the products in the Fenice Nubuck Care Kit and show you how to take care of this. First, take the reviving sponge and see if you can brush away any excess dirt. That's helped it a little bit. Now you want to take the nubuck cleaner, which is a foam cleaner. You can apply it by sponge or directly on the leather. Take your sponge and work it into the stain. You can see the sponge is getting quite dirty. If you've got a clean cloth, try to blot it. Now we'll use a hairdryer and dry the stain. It looks like we've made a big mess here, but you'll see when it dries that the stain will be gone and the leather will be fine. In feeling it, we've lost some of the nubuck effect, and it looks like it's a bit darker. What's happened is similar to a golf glove when it's worn and you sweat and you hang it on the back of the golf bag. You notice that it becomes hard and it shrinks. As soon as you put your hand inside of it, the glove is soft again. I can do the same thing by stretching on the leather here, but when it's on a sofa, you can't do that. So you take the reviving sponge and you actually just work it in on the leather. As you can see, it renews the tracking effect and the feel, and the stain has gone. Look at the contrast from before. After removing the stain, the best thing to do is to re-protect with a nubuck protector. With nubuck leathers, preventive maintenance is the key. Here is a quick demonstration of the difference between protected and unprotected nubuck leather. First, you pump the canister. It's an air canister and doesn't use any environmentally harming gases to discharge gas. Spray lightly, 12 to 14 inches away. Then leave the leather to air dry, or for faster results you can use a hairdryer. Let's do a test to see the difference. Here we have oil. What a mess. On the other hand, where the leather is protected, the oil is beading up. Here is regular water. The water's having some beading effect, but if you look, you can see that it's already starting to darken. Which would you rather have? Pull-up leathers mean that you have a lighter colour on the back side of the leather, and when they are pulled or tugged, that colour comes to the front side. Pull-up Revive is a specialised product suitable for both oil and wax pull-ups. Now here we've got some common things that can happen inside a furniture store. Here's where someone has rubbed fingernail scratches. Here someone has rubbed high on the leather. Here we've got a rub where the leather was going maybe through a doorway and it scraped some of the colour off the surface. Now these look like they can be very difficult to fix, but they're actually quite easy. All you need is Pull-Up Revive, a cloth and a hairdryer. We're going to take Pull-Up Revive and rub it into the damage. Now you can let it air dry, or the results can be much better with a hairdryer. Heat is actually very friendly with pull-ups. It activates the oils or waxes and helps the damages disappear. You may want to massage some of the areas while you're drying it where the damage was. This will also help hide it even better. As you can see here, we've fixed something that looked like a disaster, but we very quickly repaired it. Now we can demonstrate how to remove a very difficult problem. This is a combination of grounded newspaper print and blue jean transfer. If you look at the leather, it may seem that the colour has come off the leather. Actually, if you look very closely, the colour has been transferred onto the leather. Well, leather cleaner will not remove these types of grounded stains. Fenice have a product called Deep Cleaner. It requires a little bit of expertise and a slight hand because you don't want to rub the leather too hard. There are some solvents here, and you can, when removing the blue jean transfer, also remove some colour off the leather if you're not careful. You apply it directly to the cloth, rubbing lightly. You can see it's transferring the colour into the cloth from off the leather. We don't want to apply very much pressure, and if the stain does not come off easily, do not keep rubbing. Now, after you've got the stain removed, you want to rinse it off with leather cleaner and then re-protect it. We're going to demonstrate now the Fenice leather degreaser. This can be used on pigmented, aniline or nubuck leather. What this will do is remove the grease safely and effectively. Right here we've got a stain, and it's from ground-in body oils. Similar to what would happen by putting your head on the back of the sofa over a period of time. What we're going to do is take the leather degreaser and shake it very well. Then spray it on the leather from a distance of about 8 to 10 inches. Now this is going to dry to a powder. The solvent is dissolving the oil and the powder is absorbing it. What's going to happen is that in about an hour this will be all white. After an hour you can see it has dried to a powder. The best thing to do is take a vacuum and remove all the powder off the surface. After removing the grease, it's important to get all the powder out. You may need to vacuum it a couple of times to remove all the powder. We're going to take the cleaner now and try to remove the rest of the powder. Dry the leather and then revive it with a reviving sponge. Leather degreaser contains solvents as it's the only way to dissolve oil-based stains, so it's best to use it in a well-ventilated area. You may use the reviving sponge as a final step and renew the new book effect. You can see here that we've removed one of the most difficult stains of oil, body oils, from one of the most difficult leathers to clean, new book. Let's take a moment to talk about one of the inevitable things that can happen, which is delivery damage, or damage while handling or moving furniture. We've got 3 very common types of damages here. This is a rub, where perhaps a corner or something next to the frame has rubbed pretty smoothly. It's taken some of the finish off the top and the colour. Here we have a little bit more aggressive damage, where something has rubbed against a solid object, perhaps a door. And here you can see that it has actually lifted the leather and made a fish scale effect. Here we have larger damage, where it's caught something, maybe a door that has jammed, and it's put a couple of deep cuts in the leather. Here we'll just use the Fenice touch-up pigment to fix it. Here we're going to use the Fenice repairing paste and the touch-up pigment. For the larger damage we're going to use the Fenice leather glue. For this kind of damage we take the repairing paste and put it against the grain on the underside part. This will fill the damage and help to keep it down. We'll just smoothen it and remove the excess paste off the surface. Now let's fix this damage here. We're going to use leather glue on this. It's important when using the leather glue to try to put the glue only on the damaged area, as you don't want to have to remove excess glue off the surface. It will make the repair a lot easier. You want to try to apply the glue to the underside of where the damage is. Then smooth the excess down. Put the flap in place. You can ball up the majority of the excess glue with your finger. When dry, the glue is very flexible. It takes around 12 hours to cure. We can go ahead and put the colour over this, but if so, it's necessary for the leather to rest for a little bit of time. Now let's take the coloured touch-up pigment and finish these repairs. Here we need to apply the touch-up pigment on the rubbed area. We want to make sure that we have a hairdryer because this will make it dry a lot quicker. Also, you want to apply the colour in layers. It's best to build up light layers until you get the coverage that is needed. Depending upon the severity of the damage will determine how many layers you need to apply. Lighter colours may need more layers as well. Now, especially on areas like this where the grain has been damaged and rubbed, if you have the ability to get to the leather and massage it, it can really make it look a lot better. Massaging is being able to rub the leather like this. This will activate the grain and make it reappear and look much more natural. Now we've solved 3 fairly difficult problems quite easily with the Fenice repair products. Let's talk about aniline leathers. One of the things that come along with aniline leathers is shading. These leathers are both considered to be in the same lot. This is the dark range and this is the light range. It can be a problem when these 2 panels are sewn together on one sofa. It looks like the leather doesn't match. The same type of thing could be where the leathers are this colour and with the exposure to sunlight it started fading to this colour. Touch-up aniline can help fix this quite easily. What we are going to do here is make this side match the darker. It's impossible to make the darker side match the light. We can leave half of it untreated so you see the difference much more visibly when we've finished. Let's apply the colour. Aniline colours are transparent colours and very similar to staining wood. So we're going to apply this in layers. Every layer that you put on, it gets a little bit darker. Now you need to dry each layer. It's getting closer, let's apply another layer. What you want to do is to apply it until you get to the point where it starts blending in quite nicely. It's quite natural for aniline leathers to have colour variance. As we said, it's very similar to a natural piece of wood. If we remove the leather, you can see how much we've actually changed the colour. We want you to enjoy a long life for your leather. Regular care and maintenance using Fenice leather care kits will help you do so. In addition, Fenice's full range of easy-to-use leather repair products will help you repair damages on leather and assist you in both minor and major emergencies. Fenice, loving leather.